Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. So in 2025, I really want to bring back my weekly reading updates. I learned from last year's experiments that I miss talking every week about the books that I'm currently reading, and sometimes I get behind on my video reviews because life gets crazy or I don't get as much reading done, and then all of a sudden I'm finishing a bunch of books at the same time and I don't have time or the energy or sometimes even the voice or to film all of these videos all at once. So I'm trying to be good about bringing back my weekly reading update every weekend, Saturdays, some days, some weeks, maybe Sundays. I'm gonna try to have at least this video done every week. Like I said, some days it might vary between Saturdays or Sundays, but you'll have one every week, hopefully every week. But here I am. This is for the past week, really the month of January so far, 2025, but specifically for January 5th to the 11th. I'm gonna jump right in because I have so much to talk about here. I've got a lot going on. First, we're going to start with the books that I finished this week like we usually do. That's just one so far. That is Life, the Universe, and Everything by Douglas Adams. This, of course, is book 3 in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. I'm listening to the audiobooks. They are amazing. The books 2 through 5 are narrated by Martin Freeman, at least in the versions that I have from my library, and he just does such an amazing job narrating these books. It helps that he was the main character in the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but he just reads at the perfect tone with the perfect timing of humor and seriousness that just fits Douglas Adams' series so well. So I finished that one this week. Like I said, I love Martin Freeman as our audiobook narrator. I also love the wit and the humor that are in all of Douglas Adams' books so far that I've read. This whole series is just a breath of fresh air for me. There will be a fuller review coming for that one shortly, probably a short, because I think I'm going to try to stick with my shorts for sequels or other books in series besides one, and also rereads, because those are easy and quick to do and I can definitely get those up a lot faster. So there will probably be a short on that, but with a lot of information. I'll also link my written review to this book in the description below. Any of my books that are finished will have written reviews first before the video reviews, because it's a lot easier for me to do a written review than it is to do a video review. So whenever you see a book that I finished in one of these videos or any video reviews, there will definitely be a link to the written review down below. So go check that out if you want to know all my thoughts on Life, the Universe, and Everything. Now let's talk about my current reads. So I've got, like I said, I've got a lot going on. I'm kind of in one of those weird reading periods for me where I've got many books going and I'm trying to juggle them all at the same time, and some might have to be set to the side and picked up later, but I'm going to do my best this weekend to finish one or two of these because that will definitely help kind of ease my reading. So first up we have Drums of Autumn by Diana Gabaldon. This is, of course, book 4 in the Outlander series. For me, this book is a lot slower than some of the other books. This book has a lot of character building and also building towards future books in the series. There's a lot of small, important events that happen in Drums of Autumn that are building towards bigger moments in future books, but unless you're rereading this book, you don't necessarily know those moments are as important as they are, because they feel more like minor moments, but in the grand scheme of things in the series, they are much bigger moments. I am also reading The Lotus Eaters by Tatiana Soli. Now this book is one of those books that I started in one format. I started listening to this on the audio book in Audible because Audible said that it would no longer be included in my subscription at the end of 2024, the end of December. So I started it and I was really trying to finish it. I didn't quite finish it by the end of December, so I got the hardcover copy from my library, and I decided based on the estimation of where I was percentage-wise in this book, on the audiobook, I decided to start this one over. I was really drawn by the characters in this. I was really drawn into the audiobook. I'm sad that it's no longer included. But so far on my reread, kind of, in this one, I am still really drawn to our characters. And the interesting thing about this book is this takes place in Vietnam after the conflict, war, whatever you want to call it. The Americans are pulling out. We have an American journalist here who's a woman who is determined to stay in Vietnam for the handover. Everyone is pushing her to leave. It is not a safe place. It's a dangerous place right now for anyone, but especially American women. But she is determined to stay, and I'm really drawn to that story because that's a different viewpoint than what we normally get from war novels, especially with the women journalists, American in Vietnam. Just all that combination is really interesting to me. So I am really interested to see where this story goes. When my audiobook subscription ended, I was just at the moment where they're doing air evacuations from this town in Vietnam, and she chooses to stay and tricks her partner, pushes him on the plane. He needs medical attention right away. She pushes him on the plane and then steps back right before the door closes. And so I am really interested to see where this story goes, especially once I get beyond where my audiobook left off. Next up, we have an audiobook that I've been listening to. Of course, you know I just finished book 3 in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now I'm on to book 4. A funny story about this, I actually started book 4 first on January 1st when I was heading out to Florida for a Duke's Bowl game for work. Shortly into listening to book 4, I realized I hadn't listened to book 3 yet. I thought I listened to book 3, but I hadn't. So I went back and got book 3 from the library, listened to book 3, and now I'm back at book 4. And that is, so book 4 is So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. Of course, I am really enjoying this just as I've enjoyed the rest of the series. But what's interesting about this book so far, and this is a spoiler kind of, not really a spoiler because we get it in the very beginning, but just be forewarned. What interests me most about this book in the series is that now, at least part of the story, we're back on planet Earth here. And we started with planet Earth being obliterated, or on the verge of being obliterated. So now it's interesting seeing this character back on planet Earth, knowing what he knows, being all throughout the universe, and interacting with fellow Earth humans in this setting. Is really interesting to watch. I also have an ebook going, and that is This Life or the Next by Damon Vicenza. This one, I'm not sure how it landed on my Kindle, but it was on my Kindle. I needed a new ebook going, so I treated it the same way I treat my audiobooks when I need a new audiobook. I went all the way to the back of my Kindle list and looked for the book I've held on my Kindle the longest that hasn't been read yet, and that led me to This Life or the Next. I'm still pretty early on in this book. I'm about 30% in, which equals to a little before 100 pages. I think about 95 pages right now. And this might become a DNF for me. I'll give it a couple chapters more. But so far, I'm just not jiving with our narrative point of view in this book. It's a Pakistani who, as far as I understand, is in prison, but we don't know yet for what or for how long he's been there, but he's kind of recanting his essentially life story from his childhood, what I imagine to be, until he goes to prison. We're kind of in those awkward, rebellious teen years right now, and he's just discovering Muslim and Islamic beliefs and kind of embracing those in his life, which is interesting, but it just, the style of the narration is not jiving with me right now. But I'm gonna give it a couple more chapters and see if I can get under it. I am also reading Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This is as you know, probably book 1 in the Live Ship Traders series, and I've been told that this series I'm going to enjoy a lot more than Farseer Trilogy, so I'm really hoping that comes through. So far, I am enjoying this more than some of the books in Farseer Trilogy. I think it's pretty much on par with Royal Assassin for me, which I enjoyed the most out of the 3 books in the Farseer's trilogy. Although I'm very curious about these points of views because we don't get a lot of context for them. So I want to learn more about everyone that we're following here. And I imagine that Robin Hobb will give us that, especially in book 1, but throughout the whole series as well. And then the last book that I have going on right now is a beta read. It's an urban fantasy with vampires and werewolves, and this kind of agency that's supposed to overlook them and help them kind of integrate into normal society. I'll update more about that once I'm done in hopefully next week's weekly reading update. I have one book that has been kind of put on hold because my library copy was due and there was a person behind me in line, so I couldn't renew it, but I'm really enjoying it. That's Asunder by Kirsten Hall. This was a supporter pick for me in December, picked by Esme, and this is such an interesting book, and I can't wait to talk to y'all about it. But I'm going to talk more about that once I pick it up again, and I can kind of refresh my memory about all the terminology and the characters. But I was really enjoying that when I had to return it to the library. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about a new book that just came in yesterday that I'm going to be starting this weekend because I'm so excited for it. As you probably have guessed from my videos, I don't do many pre-orders because I'm so far behind in my ratings that I don't usually get to brand new books when they first come out. But one of my Autobuy authors had a brand new book coming out, a brand new series, and so I had to jump on it. And I got this beautiful copy of this book from Barnes & Noble. I did not know it was going to be this beautiful. That is Breath of the Dragon by Fonda Lee and Shannon Lee, and Shannon Lee is Bruce Lee's daughter. This is based on Bruce Lee's philosophy and his fighting styles and all of that. I am so excited for this. A warrior wills his own destiny. Look at this cover, y'all. It is absolutely gorgeous. Amazing. And we have these bright red sprayed edges. I know some people like Trey are not a fan of sprayed edges. They always attract my eyes. I don't know what it is about them, but I love me some sprayed edges. I do. Now I haven't checked inside. Okay, so first we've got plain white pages on the end pages. Let's see what the naked hardback looks like. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. I love me some good naked hardbacks too because I tend to not read with the dust cover because it gets in the way sometimes. So when we got designs on the naked hardback, I absolutely love it. This is a beautiful design with the gold foil. We've got it on the side, the spine here. What I like about this naked hardback is that it's a different design than our dust covers, which as you can see are here. It's similar, you get the same vibes, but you also get a little bit something different from there, and I love it. I can't wait to start reading that today. I'm gonna go and edit this video, get it up there for y'all to see, and then probably plan some videos for next week, and then just dive right in to my reading. It is cold. We got about an inch of snow last night, which for here in North Carolina is a bunch of snow. The roads are still slippery and mucky, so I'm gonna stay inside all day today and just read and get ready for some new videos for you guys next week. So that's all of my reading updates. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite reading moment from this week? What are you currently reading? What are you looking forward to reading next week? If any of these sounded interested to you, let me know in the comments below which ones are you most interested in. As always, keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.